How much fashion is produced around the world? How many garments?
It can be upwards of 150 billion garments are produced annually. Billion. And we know the population globally is a little over 7 billion.
Right.
It doesn't quite add up. Where's the rest of the 140 billion going?
This planet is suffocating because of our increasing desire for fast fashion.
Fashion is a $1 trillion industry, and according to the UN, it is also the second biggest polluter.
The fashion industry is the second biggest polluter in the world.
Most factories are located along riverbanks in developing countries, and they'll have like hidden pipes that are just like dumping waste effluent and toxic chemicals into the rivers.
In 2015, we sent 10 million tons of textiles to landfills in the U.S.
Growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus.
A very full-blown pandemic caused by coronavirus.
Declare this a global health emergency.
Lockdown to keep the coronavirus from spreading.
The fashion industry worldwide is affected by this.
The U.S. fashion industry is expected to be hit hard by the pandemic.
It's the largest stockpile the Australian fashion industry has ever amassed.
And the clothes are sitting on the docks in containers, not going anywhere. And nobody's getting paid.
Worst industrial disaster in Bangladesh's history.
A building collapse that had killed more than 1,100 workers in Bangladesh.
We are Enactus Unimi, and we want to propose a new concept of slow fashion. This is Phoenix. I'm Sara Ferreguolo, and I'm the project manager of Phoenix, a project by Enactus Unimi. Enactus Unimi created Phoenix in order to propose a new concept of slow fashion. This project started from the observation that clothes always end up burnt if they're not sold, or in landfill after a very short life cycle. The idea behind Phoenix is that instead of burning or wasting leftover textile materials, we can collect them from factories and donate them to young designers or social tailoring in order to make new pieces. This will promote a business model which is environmentally sustainable and socially responsible, with better manufacturing procedures, transparency for customers, and traceability. As the Phoenix, the board that rises from the ashes, we want to contribute to a new sustainable and equitable model of the fashion industry, and we want to do it in 3 steps.
In Phase 1, we aim to collect leftover textile materials from local factories and distribute them to sustainability-minded entities to produce new pieces of clothing. By collecting materials that would otherwise be wasted, we can help these factories avoid the economic and environmental costs of textile waste. At the same time, we are able to support vulnerable social groups by providing them with the collected materials that they would have to buy otherwise. Phoenix will keep a small percentage from the sales of the clothes produced within the network of our beneficiaries in order to cover the costs of transportation and logistics.
Last year, we contacted only a couple of young designers that agreed to collaborate with us. This year, we managed to contact even more young designers and also a social tailoring based near Milan, which help vulnerable women by teaching them tailoring in order to re-enter the job market.
In Phase 2, as the number of suppliers of textile materials and beneficiaries get bigger, we want to create an online platform in which pieces of clothing produced within our network can be sold directly to consumers. This year, we made a survey and we found out that eco-conscious consumers are increasingly demanding sustainable fashion, even if it means paying more or waiting longer. In Phase 3, we will create an eco-label called Slow Fashion that will include environmental and social indicators aimed at promoting corporate social responsibility in each step of the production process, as well as slow fashion movement on social media. Moreover, we will offer eco-consulting services to improve established brands' practices.
The proceedings from Phase 1 will fund Phase 2 and Phase 3 for the creation of the online platform and marketing. As the project scales up, we will develop our eco-label and also consulting services as well.
Instead of the traditional model of producing a big stock of merchandise and trying to sell it, Phoenix is embracing a new business model of on-demand manufacturing. This means that we will take orders directly from the customers and create articles of clothing to perfectly fit the demand. In terms of costs, the textile materials are sourced from leftovers of industrial producers, so with no or minimal cost. This fabric will be recycled into new pieces at the request of our customers, which eliminates the risk of overstock or waste. For funding, in the short term, we have and will continue to participate in startup accelerator programs, especially those focused on social and environmental project themes. In the medium and long term, additional funding may come from grants from the City of Milan and the European Union Fund for Circular Economy. Phoenix symbolizes a big jump in the future for the next generation for the environment.
Phoenix will benefit the residents of Milan, especially young designers, unemployed vulnerable women, and also reduce the waste generated by fashion factories.
In addition to Phoenix, Enactus Unimi will introduce you to another project, Regeneration. Repeat offenders represent one of the major challenges for the Italian society, putting a large strain on the already overcrowded prisons and making the government dedicate more resources to sustaining the prison's population, as the lack of social inclusion and the difficulty to obtain job opportunities with external entities before and after their release represent one of the major causes of the problem. We see indecent work the only way to prevent repeat offenders. Just 3.9% of prisoners work for external entities. 68.4% of prisoners that did not work until detention became repeat offenders, and 1% of the prisoners introduced to the work environment became repeat offenders.
The second project that Enactus Unimi has been developing for the last 3 years is Regeneration, a project that seeks to reintegrate convicts into the society. I'm Anton Samsonov, Project Manager for the Project Regeneration of Enactus Unimi. Regeneration relies heavily upon the implementation of Article 21 of the Italian Penitentiary Law, an article which allows persons detained for certain crimes to be let out of the detention facilities for work or study.
Society and ex-convicts themselves may see conviction as an indelible stain, but we strongly believe in second chances. With Regeneration, we aim at becoming a bridge, a platform between convicts and the green job market, thanks to which convicts will feel more included into the society by having a meaningful job. Our mission is articulated around the need for a greener and more sustainable future in which all stakeholders' interests are considered. We also believe that integrating convicts into work in the agricultural field will further allow them to have a worthy and non-alienating profession. Convicts will be able to work in the field of agriculture and may eventually even start their own business.
By this point, we're working in collaboration with Professor Simonetta from our university, who helps us identify convicts who study in the University of Milan under Article 21 and who could fit the project. Many of them study agrarian sciences. Currently, we're working on establishing a partnership with the CUMSE Foundation, which will be essential for research of urban areas to be requalified. In addition, this will allow us to apply for grants to help fund our project. We also established a partnership with Orti di Padova, an organization which can help us provide training to convicts under Article 21 and can be a place for future co-funding events.
We aim to further enlarge our network of collaboration. Our next steps will be establishing a partnership with organizations such as Associazione Girasole and Consorzio Valle dei Mille, urban farms, and social cooperatives with whom we share the common purpose of integrating convicts into our society. Reaching out to related public institutions like Ufficio dell'Esecuzione Penale to further support our research for meaningful opportunities for convicts, and collaborating with rooftop gardening projects to support green cities initiatives.
Our project's mission is thereby not only to lighten the load on the Italian prison system, but to give convicts skills they will be able to use both in society and work.
In our impact business model, our customers are companies, social cooperatives, or farms working in the green job market. Our users are former convicts and prisoners that are able to leave the jail facilities under the provision of Article 21 of the Penitentiary Law. Our project will not only benefit former convicts but also vegetable consumers and the urban population. Regeneration's unique value proposition is to become a direct connection between green job supply and demand. Convicts and associations that work for them would have daily updated access to external job opportunities for the entire transition period, while enterprises would have direct access to a specific force, also benefit from tax reduction. During the startup implementation phase, Regeneration aims to collaborate with rooftop gardening projects, which guarantee 30% saved electricity power, increasing property value, guaranteeing protection from sunlight and UV rays, and absorbing 89% of rainwater. Our financial plan will be structured as follows. Our main expenditure will be the platform maintenance, advertisement activities, and personal salaries. In order to cover our initial costs, we will apply for public and private grants through our partnership with CUMSE, as well as funds from external investors and sponsorships. Our revenue will be mainly sourced from subscription fees paid by our customers and marketing solutions. Throughout the process, we will evaluate the success of our activities by monitoring the number and quality of customers, the number of users and the rate of recidivism reduction, and quantity of green areas enhanced. Our scalability starts from the primary scope of reintegrating former convicts, but through the work of regeneration, a whole community will start to enjoy the benefits of our activities. Not only regeneration makes a more direct connection between the convicts and society, but we also estimate that the society will in turn become safer, as having a job will disincentivize convicts from recidivism. Enactus Unimi sees a great potential for collaboration between Phoenix and Regeneration, as they share the common goal of fostering social inclusion while promoting a more sustainable and greener future for our society.
We tackled the following SDGs: providing access to land and resources to the poor, quality education regarding sustainable practices, decent work, gender equality, responsible consumption and production, and reduction of inequality. With an innovative global vision of the future, we dream of making our society more sustainable.